one tool I really like, it takes some time and effort, but you can consider doing this, what I call this, 10 pages for next 10 years of your life. So what this tool means is find 2-3 hours, you can do it weekday, evening or a weekend, and try to write 10 pages about your life over 10 years. It could be anything. It could be a list of things you want to do, professional outcome you want to achieve, or a creative output you want to produce, or place in the world you want to visit, or a future version of yourself. How do you visualize yourself 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? Anything about your life. Just fill up those 10 pages. The format doesn't matter. What you write doesn't matter. But what you're doing is you're deliberately thinking about your life over next 10 years. You should be able to write 10 pages worth of content of who you want to be over next 10 years. What that will do is they'll create a mental template, a picture of your future self. Using that picture, you can slowly break it down that, for me to be that person, I need to make habit 1, habit 2, habit 3. So the reason this exercise is useful is you're not randomly coming up with the habit changes you want to make. You will make choices which are very closely related to who you want to be. Let's take an example. Let's say you are 35-year-old and you imagine your future self 10 years down the line is someone who is able to do all these amazing treks around the world. Now, trekking is a physically exhausting activity. It requires a lot of stamina. You need to be fit. And if you're somebody who is not working out today, you clearly, you need to build a habit of some kind of workout. You can slowly build upon it to build more stamina, but your future self requires you to build that habit today. If you want to, maybe somebody who wants to retire 15 years down the line. So you need to think about, what kind of financial equation you need to have for yourself. For that, you might need to start some habit for saving money or investing or earning additional supplementary income. But the cues for the habit you need to build need to come from future. If you come from a family with any kind of lifestyle diseases, in India, we have a lot of people are diabetic. Diabetes is both genetic and lifestyle disease. But if you have most people in your family tend to get pre-diabetic or diabetic in their 40s and 50s, and you don't want to get there, you need to make your diet changes today. So write those 10 pages for next 10 years of your life. Then translate that into what are the habits you can start building today. And don't start with 5 habits. No one can do that. It's not possible. You will fail in everything. Just start with 1 habit or 2. If you are really ambitious, you think, you have that inordinate willpower. Okay, maybe, you can start with 2 habits, I tend to start with just 1 at a time. And you can layer those on, maybe a few weeks down the line after you made progress with habit 1, you can start making progress habit 2. And as make one significant habit change, your self-image will become so positive. You'll get so much more confidence in yourself. You would have learned, what are the bottlenecks, what are the struggles in making habit change, but also how do you de-bottleneck, how do you become somebody who is able to make that habit change. And then just let that compound over a long period of time and it'll be really magical, things that will happen over 5 or 10 years, it's impossible to imagine, Anything that has happened in my life so far is because of different habits I picked up over a period of time. Some habits, I've copied from the people I admired. Some habits I picked up from the books I've read. Some habits are more born out of a necessity because I wanted to do something. I understood, to be able to write a book, I have to write 500 words a day. So therefore, I had to build that habit. It's very much a work in progress. At this point, I feel absolutely free. I have the confidence that I can build the habits I want. And by virtue of being able to build those habits, I can become a different person if I choose to be. If I don't like something about what I do at present, then I can consciously work on changing those habits. So that freedom and that sense of power is, I think, very profound. I hope I'm able to communicate to you like how important the ability to understand how habits work and how empowering the idea that you can make habit change. If you just take in the effort to understand, it's not rocket science at all. people make habit changes all the time. All too often these changes happen because of life events or because we don't have a choice. But if you take control of this dialogue, if you become captain of the ship, that you are going to decide what habit change you want to make, and over a period of time you are going to become really, really good at making those habit changes, there is basically nothing you can do. I think people who want to have big impact in life, they figure out what are those critical habits. I was recently watching this Netflix series, Last Dance, about the life story of Michael Jordan. He had this habit of always showing up as the first person in the gym for practice and leaving as the last person from the gym. That's a big part of what made him great. I remember listening to a talk by Michael Bloomberg. He's done amazing things in life. He has built a massive business. He has been a very successful politician. He is a great philanthropist. And he was saying that very early in his career, he decided that no matter what happens, he's going to be first person who comes to office and last person to leave the office. Again, Michael Jordan-like attitude. And he was creating that single habit to everything that he's been able to do in his life. A friend of mine, Mukesh Prasad Singh, he has this annual ritual where he takes last week of the year off. He deeply reflects about his year, what all happened in the year, what are things he's proud of, what are things he did right, what changes he was able to make, what are things he's not able to do. And he's been doing it for last 25 years. He has all those documents written over last 25 years. If you don't do it, you can start that annual ritual now. You'll be able to reflect on that 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, develop deeper insights about how you are making progress year over year. But you decide what are the habits that matter to you. I don't know anyone who is able to create big impact in life who is not rooted in some fundamental habits which are deeply connected to what the person is trying to achieve. We keep repeating that behavior. That small positivity keeps happening day after day, keeps adding up.